So this video is going to be really quite exciting, or at least I personally am very excited to build it, because we're going to be creating a full rocket launch site. Now this is something that I've always wanted to do, but kind of been a little bit scared of, because I was always pretty terrible at building slime block machines. But now I have a little bit more expertise. We can actually build the rocket, and we can build all of the surrounding things, and hopefully make them all work together so that we can get a proper rocket launch by the end of today's video. This is going to be fun. Also, as an added bonus, we're in a very nice Minecraft world here. Bonus points to anyone who can guess why I quite like this place. Anyway, first things first, we need to actually clear out space for our rocket launch site, because these things are notoriously quite big. So we're going to create a fairly flat area in this sort of vicinity. Right, I think that should hopefully do the trick. This is massive. We've probably got more space than we need there, but that's definitely a good problem to have. So I would say, first things first, we should create the actual launch pad itself. Now, I hadn't even thought of what sort of shape should a rocket launch pad be. I think maybe like a rounded off square. So we'll place iron around the outsides, and then we will have black blocks, so black concrete probably, on the inside there, and that's going to make up the launch pad, and then we can build up all of the other things around it. Yeah, this seems like a pretty good start. Next up, we're going to do that big pillar thing that stands up next to the rocket, which stops it from falling over. I don't actually know that much about rocket launches and things, so I'm just assuming that's what it's doing. One thing that these support structures definitely are used for is transporting the astronauts from the bottom up to the top of the space rocket, where they actually get put into the space rocket. So I'm going to try my best to build an elevator system which will transport them up, and then I guess when we get to the top, we'll have to create some form of retractable bridge. I'll have to have a think about that one. That could be tricky. And 3, 2, 1, go. Oh man, I'm living my childhood dream of being an astronaut right now. Can you imagine what this would feel like as an actual astronaut? And you've got a rocket in front of you that you're about to go into to travel into space. That is totally ridiculous. Anyway, we've reached the top. We just need to do the send down circuit. So that is now all done, and the elevator is now working, but also I thought I would start trying to add in some extra decorational builds. So we've got this little area here with its solar panels, and that's kind of like, I guess, mission control. And that's also a chamber which sends the astronauts through. And as you can tell, I've taken some inspiration from Vintage Beef on this one. And then also I've added in a little satellite tower, which is going to be sending signals, I'm guessing, from mission control up to our rocket when it launches. But I feel like maybe there's a few buildings that need to be constructed over here. I gotta say, I'm really happy with this place. So now that we have those buildings in, and I've placed some solar panels on the floor as well, that looks super cool. I mean, it doesn't look like a space station based on Earth, but maybe on Mars. We've got a Mars rocket launch area. Speaking of rocket launch areas, we should probably start on some redstone. The first of which is going to be this 7-segment display, which will count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it will go blank, and that's when our rocket is actually going to lift off from the platform. So what we need to do is we need to run in a redstone line. I don't actually know where that's going to come from. I don't know where should we activate this rocket from? Maybe from somewhere around about here? So we'll kind of have like a control box, and that will have the button on it that's actually going to launch this redstone contraption. So from there, we'll run out a redstone line, which is going to run into this thing, and we need to fire in 5 pulses a decent distance apart, maybe like a second apart. So let's see, if I do this combination correct, we get how many pulses? That's 2, 3, okay, only 3. So we're going to need a longer delay. Right, this should hopefully do the trick. So, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've done my maths incorrect. Now that this thing's actually built and functioning properly, I think it's probably a good idea that I actually build the rocket itself. I was going to do some of the support structures and other redstone contraptions that attach to the rocket, but without a rocket, it's really difficult to work out where those things are supposed to be going. So yep, slime blocks, we're going to need redstone blocks, and this thing is probably going to be pretty enormous. I don't even really know where to start with this one. I've never built a rocket before. I guess with the fins at the bottom? What are they even called? Fins doesn't seem like the right word. Now this flying machine is actually being constructed in a completely different way to any other flying machine I've built before. I haven't built any of the motors or any of the engines or anything like that. I'm just kind of building it from the ground up. So this is the bottom. This is the base of our spaceship. And that looks pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in, so there'll be, I guess, extra. I mean, it's so difficult to build cool looking things with slime blocks because, of course, you've got that push limit. And that push limit really does, well, it limits you. So there it is. That is the bottom of the rocket, all constructed. So you can see we have the fins coming out the bottom, or the air blade type things, and then there we have the actual main body of the rocket traveling up like that. And then up at the top here we're actually going to have the head of this thing, which is going to control all of the engines and everything like that. But the first thing that I have to do is I actually have to try this thing out, and I am a little bit terrified because I have built this entire thing without testing if it actually flies or not. You know what, before I do this, I'm actually going to back up this world. So here goes. Backups have been made. If we flick this lever here, that will extend those pistons, and now there's no going back, because when I retract these pistons, we should see a chain of piston action, bringing this entire thing upwards. Are you ready? Well, that doesn't exactly fill me with much hope. Alright, let's try that again, now that these observers here are actually facing in the correct direction. If we go like this. Oh, that was so close! And it's just because... Could that not pick it up? Oh, I wonder why that is. It was because these little sections had too many blocks on them. There was, I think, 13 blocks on there, and obviously slime blocks can only push or pull 12. So now that that is fixed, we should get a rocket that almost lifts itself off the floor. Why did that not work that time? Well, the motors decided to leave the rest of the rocket behind. You'll be happy to hear, finally, I've managed to actually get this thing up and working. The rocket is functioning, but you'll be slightly unhappy to hear that I'm not going to show you that working until the end of the episode, once we've finished up everything else around here. So, now it is time to take the output from our little lever thing here across over into this big thing here. I don't know any of the technical terms, so we're just going to use the word thing for the time being. But yeah, we're going to put it up into that thing, and then we're going to build some support things. After a lot of thinking and a lot of different iterations, this is what I've ended up with. So these things right here are like claws which are holding up our rocket. So you can see that they're kind of attached to it right there. And then when we get our combination correct, in theory, all of them should retract. Now, I must admit, I haven't had too much luck with this system so far, but I'm feeling good about this one. So, boom and boom. Oh, that was really close. That one just... That doesn't make any sense. How's that come about? I'm also just trying to work out how on earth I'm actually going to activate this thing, because we need to send an update through to this piston here. And that is pretty far away from everything. How would I do that? This could potentially work. So if I remove this redstone torch... Yeah, so that gets the triple piston extender out of the way, but have I just moved that across? So I wanted to move it across to get it out of the way, and I've actually moved it more in the way. This piston needs to be off over here. Okay, it now pushes it in the correct direction. Instead of this piston retracting, it now pushes across, meaning that all of these blocks get moved out of the way so that this fin of the rocket can actually travel past. And that should be the final detail which actually finishes this entire build. I've hooked everything up. into the counting system. I'm going to remove the block of obsidian from above our rocket because I'm about to try out this entire mechanism for the first time. And I have to say, I'm kind of a little bit nervous for it. I've made about 15 backups of this exact thing. So let's give it a go. Let's see how this works. First launch of our proper rocket system in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and blast off. Okay, supports are gone, and the rocket has been activated, and it is taking off, and it is flying past all of these supports. Now let's just make sure that it clears it. Yes, of course it does, because it's been engineered to perfection. That is such a satisfying thing to watch. So there goes our rocket. Off it goes into space. That has functioned absolutely flawlessly. Ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely chuffed to bits with this thing. I hope that you enjoyed this little redstone video. I put a lot of time and effort into this one, as I'm sure you can tell. So your support means the world to me. If you did enjoy it, please press that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.